What's going on, guys? This is William. You are tuning in to the William Knows Nothing show. That was weird. I fucked up. Long story short, I had an SD card from my recorder here that records this lovely microphone to my voice. And yeah, it's gone. I don't know what I did with it. It's gone. And I fucking lost that file, so that means I have to use the audio from the fucking video that I recorded with my guest today, David, an artist from Philly, and he's also a training partner of mine, and that's how I met him. He's a cool guy, and really loved this conversation I had with him. It was actually a 2-hour conversation. I did not intend for it to go that long. We just had a lot to talk about. It just went on. He had to train, and I fucked his schedule up. My bad, David. But yeah, we talked about a lot in this episode. So yeah, you can just if you want to skip ahead, you can see that there's so much shit that we were talking about. But we discussed deep thinking and the meaning of life, fighting, our well-being, meditation, getting lost in social media, trying to run our fucking trying to promote trying to promote our business or what our artistic life. Jesus Christ. We talk about being an artist in general, and I asked a couple questions about his specific career choice as an artist. So without further ado, I bring to you David M. D. Blank Artist. Stay tuned to the end of the show to find out more information about him and stuff. All right. All right, so we're here back with another guest. We got my training partner that I just met. How long did you, since you started Balance Studios?
Probably mid-September.
Mid-September? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been coming in, and you were a boxer before, right? You trained as a boxer?
Yeah. I fought for Penn State for a couple of years. Did pretty well with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just forgot all the details, but I know you came in, and I was like, oh, snap. We got a boxer now? That's kind of the test of, you jumping into a kickboxer who's, especially me being – I was already, 2 years in, so I was, trying to test how I can – move my head and see how fast you are, and you kept catching me. So I was like, it's pretty interesting, and I wanted to know your opinion or your perspective of how you as a boxer, or you having your experience as a boxer coming into Muay Thai.
It's super interesting. I mean I kind of fell in love with it right away because I'm the type of person that I like not knowing. I feel like a lot of people get an inflated ego, if they get really good at something and then they have to start from zero with something else, they get bashful, they don't want to do it, or they get even offended if somebody catches them off guard, but I really I'm obsessed with learning, so I really like being at zero again, especially with kicks and stuff. I just have no idea what the fuck I'm doing half the time, you know what I mean? And I don't pretend like I know what I'm doing either, because it's a completely different sport, so.
Yeah, it's amazing. You're always going to keep learning. That's something I'm learning myself, that I thought I knew something. I thought I knew how to throw a kick. I guess my first year, along the way, I was, I know how to kick, whatever. And then a couple guys were showing me, your technique is a little off, because I was getting too happy and excited about my kicks. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? Because I was kicking upward instead of going across parallel. So there's, of course, in martial arts, there's different ways, different techniques from different coaches out there, different instructors. They all have a different way of a kick, but the very fundamental way to kick is the fundamental way to kick, to get the best power out of it. You know what I mean? If you kick and you lift yourself off the floor, you're hopping into it. You know what I mean? You're taking power away from it. You're throwing yourself into them. You're throwing your body onto them, but you're taking away I can't explain it, but the physics of it from you being on the ground, turning on the balls of your feet, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? If you take, it's little things you have to learn to understand how to throw proper technique. And I thought I knew what I was doing. And then, because I know how to throw a kick, boom. I've been doing this for a year. And then they showed me, so I was like, fuck. Or my hands wasn't up. And I was like, oh. So you're always going to learn something new along the way. Like there's always one little thing you have to keep tweaking. And it's like, fuck. It's like the balance of doing everything to perfection until you get it right.
Yeah. I have that same experience with like a hook. I thought like I was like maybe 3 or 4 years into it. And I was throwing hooks, and I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I have a powerful like right hand, and I'm catching people, but I just can't get that hook right. And it's just like the little tweaks. I think I stepped away from it for a summer, and then I came back, and my hooks were there. It's just kind of like resetting. So, you know, that happened to me with the hooks at least once. Yeah, I believe that.
I still try to perfect my hooks too, like turning your body, using your hips to throw that hook instead of throwing your arms or whatever. And then there's a particular way that you're turning. There's like so many different things, little steps that you're doing.
You get it just right.
Yeah, so you get that hook just right. And I always try to pass that knowledge on to other people that I see, because I see a lot of people doing, you know, they're throwing this, or they're cocking all the way back, or they're not throwing it from the hip right here, boom, you know, they're not going straight into it. So it's like a lot of stuff that's so fucking fun and fascinating about martial arts. But
yeah, fighting's crazy. Like it's just like centimeters of distance of how you do certain things. It'll make a world of difference. And I think that's why I like fighting so much, because the difference is so little that if you're not paying attention, you're not studying it, like you're just not gonna get it. You're gonna like overlook it. Right.
You were you aspiring to be like a boxer when you first started? Or when you got good?
I started boxing when I was 18, and I started because my friends were doing it, not because like it was something that I really wanted to do. I used to like fight and like on our yards and stuff like that, put on the gloves, and everybody be having fun with it. But like there was just like that handful of like kids that took it seriously, and I was like, you know what, like shoot, I'll try it. You know, like you never know. Like I want to stay in shape. Like I want abs. Fuck it. Like so I went into it with an open mind, man. I have a really cool story about like my first trainer. When I first started, obviously everybody's trash when they first start, but he would put me in there. Like I started like sparring maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks into it. Of course I was trash. And I was getting beat up, but I'm okay with that though. Like I'm okay with not knowing. Like I said, I'm okay.
And you were 18?
Yeah. And I'm getting put in there with like people that are much heavier than I, and not only that, these kids weren't holding back either. They're going after me, man.
Oh man.
And I think it was one time I was like getting ready for prom, you know, trying to like look all cute, look all pretty, but I didn't want to skip the gym. So I had my braids in. I had long hair there then too. I had my braids in, and I started sparring and everything. And I told my coach, like, just don't pour water in my head, because that's what he normally does, like for you to cool off, and he'll pour water in your head so that you're not like dizzy, you don't pass out, whatever. I was like, just don't pour water in my head, because I had to go to prom. And he hated that. He thought I was like too pretty for boxing. So he came for my head that day. He basically kicked me out of the gym.
Oh damn.
Yeah. When I told him that, he was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you're not made for this. Like, you're not a fighter. You like, he just like came after me, and I left, and I was like, you know what? I hope you keep that same energy. I kept training with one of my friends at a different gym, and I was like, I hope you keep that same energy. A year later, I went back to that gym and beat the fuck out of all his kids. I was like, all right, put me in, coach.
Yeah, that's funny.
I kept that in my head, and I never let that go. I was like, he kicked me out and made me look like a bitch. Yeah, I got you.
That comes off as a success story to like making it to the UFC and shit. You know what I mean? If you were a UFC fighter, that would be like one fucking awesome story. Like because you usually hear that shit. You hear people, they get what is the word? You get something like that where they're saying, nah, you're not made for this, you're not cut for this. Stop doing this. You know what I mean? And then you're like, what? Like, bitch. And then you kind of like want to prove them wrong. So that's your motivation.
Fact. And
I don't know if it's like reverse psychology on their part, or they're just genuinely being a dickhead. So you just like, fuck it. I'm going to now believe myself to make this shit work. Cause this motherfucker is pushing against me. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but that's not. Let's hold on. I didn't make it. I didn't make it clear on purpose, but then I don't want to confuse anybody. So, what are you doing right now today? You're not fighting, but you're going to just train, right?
I'm just trained. I'm not fighting anymore.
Yeah.
I made a big decision in my life to like to focus, and I stopped fighting. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you doing now? I mean, I know what you're
I'm
doing,
an
but
artist.
you're an artist.
Yeah. I'm an artist. I'm a tattoo artist.
Right.
I decided that I think it was after my senior year in college. I decided that I needed to focus and that I needed to choose one love. And like I loved boxing and I loved like public speaking. I wanted to like get good at that. I loved a bunch of stuff like dancing, everything. But I just sat down one day and I was like, you know what? Like if I want to make it big in anything, I just have to choose one. And I chose art. Like I was like, I've been doing this since I was 7, and I'm gonna follow through. I was blessed enough that I got an opportunity from who is now my mentor to like give me an apprenticeship at his tattoo shop, and since then I've been tattooing.
Nice. So wait, so you were, when you say you were an artist, what kind of artist were you? Like, were you just sketching? Like the way I'm an artist myself. I do everything though. I just sketch. I'm gonna show you my embarrassing drawing of my wife that I drew her while I was drunk yesterday. I'm gonna get it
Nice.
in a second. She just bought me a sketch pad or whatever because I say I wanted it so I can start doing graphic art, whatever. But anyway, what kind of artist are you? Like since you were a kid and until I know you're a tattoo artist now, but what were you that inspire you to be a tattoo artist?
Just drawing.
Just drawing in general.
Pencil. I mean, I got good at painting. I got good at like a little bit of sculpting I did, but most of my life was just drawing. The first drawing that I ever did was actually Pikachu. Fucking, I would never forget that. I would never forget that. It's just like, it's the first time my brothers were like doing like a little competition because they're like mad. They're like 6 years older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I could never do anything with them. So the day that they decided that, hey, like he can draw with us, I was like, all right, I'm hooked. Never again did I stop. I never stopped drawing after that. I remember they were drawing a Pikachu. They stopped it on a VHS, like a recording.
Mm-hmm.
And they paused it so that they could draw this particular like, Pikachu throwing thunder and whatever. And shit, they let me in, and I was like, I never looked back.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
I used to draw. I used to copy, I should say. First, I started off with copying. So, you put the paper over the pictures and shit.
Yeah.
I used to trace over Game Informer magazines. Anything magazines that I was able to trace over, I would do that. And then I grew into Dragon Ball Z stuff. That was like a popular thing that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there was a couple of Asian friends of mine in middle school that would draw Dragon Ball Z. They stereotype that they used to always be the ones. Yeah, they used to always be the ones to draw anime and shit. So I used to be into that. Like, dude, this is fucking awesome. You could draw. I see this shit on TV. You're drawing it right there. I could fucking try it too. I sucked at it, but because I was tracing. But eventually I grew into trying to do it myself. And I remember wanting to be a cartoon artist because I loved cartoons. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do something like South Park, basically, because that's what I grew up watching. And I didn't know that they had the way they did it. You know how they cut it out in stop motion, whatever, motion capture.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did it that way, but I was like, I want to do whatever just to make a fucking show by myself and not have to worry about, working with other people. But at the same time, I wanted to be a filmmaker too. So I was so fucking crazy with everything I wanted to do. I just had all these ideas, and I just sucked at drawing. I didn't know that you have to focus and have patience on that skill to get better at it. So that, you know what I mean? So you can get good, of course. It took me into
it's not just like at you as a kid either. It's just like I feel like grown adults still feel like, the word talented. It's one of the words that's like very flattering, but it's a word that like takes all of your work away. It's just like I've been drawing for like 20 plus years, and like in your head you think that I was just like I just did it. I'm just this way. And
you're born that way.
I'm born that way, and that's it, man.
God-given talent.
That Pikachu was fucking trash.
I drew Pikachu a couple of times. I sucked at his tail. His face, he looked like the fat rat. I forget what I just remember him looking like a fat rat, but with the tail was all fucked up because it's like a I can't explain it, but the way that you draw the tail, I fucked up multiple times. So I understood you have to count how many fucking edges there are. Let me get that picture real fast. I want to show you my shitty drawing. Like proud of it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, let me check it out.
So I don't know why I drew my my wife told me to draw my daughter next, and I was trying to hold my daughter's face in front of me while I was drawing her. So I drew her. She looked like a cabbage patch girl, but I don't know if you can see this.
I'm peeping. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. This is my first time shading. I don't shade. I didn't know how to shade, but it came with the charcoal. You see how I was testing out the stuff or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to shade and do. It's cool. I love that shit. I always wanted to learn how to do that, but I never studied it or put the time into trying it or had the tools for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's all right, but I was just like, I want to do it though because it's. I love this shit. I love everything around the arts, and that's why you see me in there trying to learn how to fucking do the perfect technique for the kicks or whatever that we do and all that.
Yeah, man.
Arts in general, yeah.
I feel like it's almost kind of like a characteristic of people, like people wanting to just like sharpen and sharpen and sharpen and sharpen and sharpen, you know. So definitely.
Yeah, you got to put the work in, man. And you say how many years you put in to drawing?
For drawing, I started when I was 7. I'm 28 now.
Oh, okay, that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Shit. Like
Yeah.
dedicated hours, like you put. They say that you put 10,000 hours into it or whatever.
I don't know if I put in 10,000 yet. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah,
Because putting in like 4 hours in one day is like hard. That's a lot of time to draw. Like you'll like really get tired. But
yeah, I remember. Yeah, because I'm what are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Oh, okay. That was just another thing I used to think. I thought it was like people were like me who want to do everything. I was like, oh, lefties are fucking retarded. We just want to do everything, basically. I thought it was just a left-handed thing. What is it, girl? Yeah, thank you. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, so now you're how long have you been a tattoo artist?
I've been a tattoo artist since Well, I started my apprenticeship last July, and then I started tattooing like late February.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm about to hit a year soon.
About to hit a year. How is it for you? You had a parlor, right?
Yeah, it's really how long I'm tattooing. Like if I'm tattooing, I want them to think like, oh, this kid is like. I want them to trust me. You know what I mean? But when I tell somebody how long I've been tattooing for, they just don't believe me. They're just like, yo, that's fucking insane.
So hold on. So you've
only
a lot
of people
tattooing.
spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah. So you've only you spent almost a year tattooing in general, or because I don't want to confuse it.
Yeah. So I've been actually like tattooing on skin since February. So I'm gonna hit a year tattooing. Yeah.
How the hell you transfer to that? So because there's a technique to learning how to tattoo, right? I mean.
So I learned because I know so many mediums. Like I think that the best characteristic that I have is that like I like to learn and I know how to learn. Like I'll put myself in a course to get better at something.
Right.
Now I'm a slow ass learner. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I'm that quick with anything. But because I learned so many different mediums, I learned digital, I learned charcoal, I learned painting, I learned pencil and paper, all these different things. I just kind of figured that it would be like the same process. Digital was by far the hardest medium I've ever learned.
Digital
and tattooing would come like second.
Digital as in what, drawing on the screen or whatever? I don't know.
Like drawing on a computer or drawing on a tablet.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, because there's so much to it,
Yeah, there's a lot of tools that I was trying to learn how to draw on the screen too, because I wanted to make my own like just comics, like just little miniature comics on philosophy and things that I always talk about instead of just always talking.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
you were talking about TikTok the other day. I think if you were to like try to put something together for like TikTok, like little 15-minute like videos, I think you do really well with that.
Yeah, I got to figure it out. I have to play with it though, the TikTok. I just got the account for comedy purposes. So I'll figure that one out. But for this one, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know if I could do it with this platform because this is like a serious thing. I don't know. I have to figure it out because I did this since April, and I'm trying to figure out how to not be boring. You know what I mean? Like I'm being myself ultimately, but I also don't want to be boring. If that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
I just don't want to.
I
I
hear you.
want to attract people that never pay attention to this shit. Deep thinking, just thinking about things that they don't ask themselves, you know what I mean? Or maybe they do, but they're not
Mhm.
curious about it, just to get them to ask questions. Like you hear it often, what is the meaning of life, right? But
Right.
when do you ever sit there and ask yourself, what is the meaning of life? And then you sit there and try to figure the shit out. Me personally, I came to the conclusion that the meaning of life is whatever you want it to be. It's your meaning. You don't have to look for an actual meaning of life. You can make that your belief. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Mhm.
Nas when he says, "Life is what you make it." He's gonna make it. That's what he says. Whatever.
Mhm.
Or yeah, but that's how it's kind of like that same principle for how I look at the meaning of life. It's what I want to make it. My meaning of life. Oh,
Hello.
there, told you. I told you she was gonna appear. I was trying not to let her come up, but um, my meaning of life is just finding your purpose and and doing what you can to understand who you are, what you are, going inside of you to you have to meditate, you have to do all these things to understand who you are and what you are as a person and what you want to do and just go with it and just live.
Yeah.
Whatever comes up, you do. If you fail at it, all right. If do you want to still continue to do it, go do it. Keep going. All right. Do you want to stop now because you're not into it anymore? Okay. What else is next? You got to be curious, figure shit out, and don't stop fucking being curious about what life has to offer for you. And then there's so many other things that I have, but like her, ever since she was born, she like woke up something inside of me. I don't know. It's like she triggered something in my brain that made me kick. Like like it just something happened that made me think. Now I know what the fuck I need to do. Like I don't know. There's something that besides taking care of her, of course. But it got me started to do this. It got me started to do martial arts. It got me started to actually accept that I, I I love philosophy. So it got me to thinking I need to accept that I want to do philosophy. Let me fuck it. Let me just start thinking about shit. Let me not
Mhm.
listen to everybody telling me, oh, philosophy is boring or why are you wasting your time or blah blah. Let me not listen to other people and just focus on what I want to do. That's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't want to get off track, but I'm gonna ask you, what is your meaning of life? Like, do you have any kind of meaning of life? Did you ever think about that? You don't have to
I
answer that,
do,
but
but in a very mechanical way. I do.
mechanical.
Like it's a very much of like I get why we're driven to do certain things. I get why like if we feel like shit, like what's pushing it. And a lot of times I kind of just point towards like evolutionary stuff, like kind of like that primitive mindset that we have,
Mhm.
and use that as a base for like explaining a lot of stuff. For example, I, I think we all want to continue our like our 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 life through whether it be our kids or actually yeah through our kids and whatnot. Um, and I think it does sound super mechanical and it does sound like very black and white, but like people almost everything that we do is to preserve that. Like almost everything that we do is to preserve that lineage and to find a good partner to like continue your life through and to I don't know, like how can I say, for example, me, anything almost everything that I see men or women do, it's because they want a good mate or they wanna procreate with somebody that's gonna give them the best like outcome almost. And it sounds super black and white, but at its core, I know we give a lot of meaning to stuff like, oh, well, she's beautiful, she treats me well, whatever it may be. But at the core of it all, I do find that that's what it comes down to. It's about continuing our life almost because we don't want to die. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like our DNA doesn't want to die, and I feel like it knows that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
the collectiveness of like humanity, like it knows that, although we don't talk about it.
Right.
And I feel like that pushes like at least a big percentage of our decision making.
Right. Isn't it interesting though? You said that one thing you said, that our DNA wants us to live, it wants us to survive. It's when you think about that, we are like survivors, right? Everything we do in our
Right.
lives is based on survival, right? And when we get so distracted or what do you call it, accustomed to the things that we have, the finer things. I have a home that I rent right here. It's
Yeah.
warm, it's comfortable. My daughter has she has protection around here. She has me as her protection. We're not living in the wilderness with just random shit attacking us. We don't have any lions and wolves and shit trying to kill us. We're here and we're protected from it. So we're not, our instincts, like, we don't have to survive right now. We're just chilling.
Right. So
our survival instincts. You go.
Do you what do you think about, what is that psychology term where you have like I'm sorry, I'm blanking out.
That's
I
fine.
know that the very peak of it is that you want to transcend. I know that the bottom is like you're seeking shelter, protection, food. The middle, like when you're transcending, then you're looking for love. You're looking for like to be social, all that stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Maslow's Maslow's theory, Maslow's hierarchy theory. I don't know. If you ever do look into it, it does explain a lot of it. Just how you were just now talking, like we do have, we do have shelter, we do have food. There's nothing. We're not in danger, so there's nothing else for us to really worry about. But there is a hierarchy of needs. That's what it's called. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once you do have your shelter, you are going to look for love, and if you don't have it, you're going to be sad, depressed, or whatever it may be. And once you have love, you're going to look for something else. And once you've acquired all those things in your life and you're comfortable, you're making money, you have love, you have, people around you that have good intentions, then you want to transcend. And I feel like you may be dealing with that right now.
What?
Where you're looking to think deeper into stuff, to like,
yeah, I'm self-actualizing.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. I found the pyramid, the Maslow's hierarchy theory. That's what it's called, right?
Hierarchy of
So
needs.
it starts with physiological needs: food, water, warmth for us; safety needs, security, safety; belongingness and love needs, intimate relationships, friends; esteem needs, prestige and feeling of accomplishment; and then self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. That's crazy. I never saw this.
I'm not at transcending yet. I'm at like looking for a sense of accomplishment. Like everything I do is for that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can almost look at my entire life and you can see that whenever I train or whenever like I draw it, like I'm just looking for a sense of accomplishment. I almost need that. I crave that. And I know that as soon as I have it, I'm going to be searching for the next thing.
We're always, it's funny. My wife, I was telling her, I'm like laughing at it now because I'm like looking at this and it gave me perspective. This is why I love doing this shit, man. I was telling you about this. I was saying I want to try to do this more with people because you just brought me something I never heard of, Maslow's hierarchy theory. I probably heard of this before, but it never occurred to me that I should look it up, whatever. And now I was like, oh, you kind of gave me a map to what I'm doing or whatever. So I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. It gives me perspective. But my wife was...
Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say like once, I'm almost kind of like breaking your convo, but I was going to say once you've acquired like the bottom stuff, you really have no need to worry about it almost. But continue what you were saying. I feel like
okay. I'm gonna get to about this. I'm gonna go right back to that. But so my wife was telling me, basically, to sum it up, she was telling me, oh, you're saying you want to do this, but you're gonna want more. Watch. And I'm like, no, I just want this. Like for fighting, I want to fight. I want to do a Muay Thai fight. I'm 31 years old, and I want to fight. I just have to do it safely. I have to make sure that I'm ready for it, because I'm 31. I got to make sure I take care of my daughter, of course. I have priorities, right?
but I definitely want to fight. I at least want to get one fight. But I told her, I made a promise to her. I said 5 fights. Just let me get 5 fights and that's it. I'm not going to win anymore. But it was.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So she was saying, like, you're going to want more. And I was like, no. I'm going to retire. I swear. I promise. I just want 5 fights. I took the same principle I had for when I was trying to be a filmmaker. I came out with this thing to motivate me called the Batman Utility Belt, but I made it for filmmaking, my filmmaking utility belt. So I want 5 films. If I can get 5 short films and have it around my belt and show these people out there to network and this is my work, I can at least network and get people to join me to make my feature film. That's going to get my big film. That's going to break me into the business basically. Yeah. But I failed miserably. Long story short. But I don't know, going back to that though, it's just interesting how you said that it's like you're gonna always want more, and that's true. I think I'm like coming to the realization that no matter what I do, I'm always gonna want more. So I gotta be mindful of that.
Yeah. But you know what though, at the end of the day, like once you realize what it is that you want in your life and like you choose that one thing, it's almost like marrying something. It's weird. Like it's almost like you marry something and that's it. Like for example, me with boxing, everybody wanted me to go pro. I talk to my coach still to this day, and he's like, I'm kind of disappointed in you. Like you had a really future ahead of you, but you let it go. But it's just people that don't understand your life. Like they just don't get you.
Yeah.
But that was a really hard decision for me. You know what I mean? Because I started boxing as like, yo, I'm just gonna get in shape. I already know what I married. I married, my craft since I was 7. I decided that this is what I was gonna do with my life. Right. But I got into boxing and I felt like so deeply in love with it that I was fighting. I think I got about like 20 fights in, and my last fight, which was an L, which is crazy because I didn't want to with a loss. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because I had to decide, I had to pick that moment of my life to decide hey, this is it. You said that once you finish college, you can't do this anymore. And you have to chase your passion, your actual passion. And, you will find it a way to let it go if you need to let it go. So, I mean, kickboxing or Muay Thai, you're probably never going to stop wanting to do it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because once you like something, that just doesn't go away. It's just kind of a commitment thing,
Yeah. The main reason why I wanted to fight, honestly, is not just it's just so that I can get the experience. I really just wanted one fight, and then I said, let me again. I took the same principle as the filmmaking thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to be the next Conor McGregor or go on UFC, whatever. I'm 31 years old, dude. I know I missed that train. I'm not worrying about it anyway. I love MMA. I have a huge passion for MMA, mixed martial arts in general. I love jiu-jitsu and what do you call it? Muay Thai. And I also love the other martial arts, Taekwondo. I just don't train those, but I play around. You see me, I don't know if you see me yesterday playing around, throwing, spinning back kicks. I was doing.
I did.
Yeah.
I did see.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. It's cutting off.
I did see that.
Oh, you saw that? Okay. Yeah, I train that myself at home. I just watch videos and then I look up the techniques so that I can train at home because they don't teach that over there, of course, where we train at. They just teach Muay Thai. So it gives me the time to mess around and do things that I like to do because I love mixed martial arts, right? So that's everything, right? I missed that train, but I didn't miss the train to teach. I didn't miss the train to have this goal that I have in mind to own my own gym in the future if I am able to get that.
Oh, cool.
I got a long road ahead of me, but that's my goal now. If I can continue this for 10 years straight and I get my black belt in jiu-jitsu and I got my 5 fights at least for Muay Thai, then now I have credibility to myself that I accomplished what I accomplished so that I could run my own gym with confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that martial artist that, no offense, not that anybody that didn't fight, because you can still be a good coach or a good teacher and not fight. You don't have to fight. But for me personally, it's just you know what I mean? I wanted to test the actual fight game.
Froze up, man.
Oh, did I? If I don't get let's say if I don't get any fights in because whatever, things happen, I can't get a fight. I'm close to being injured. I'm trying to be careful. If I can't get a fight, it's fine. I'm still going to coach. I'm still going to learn how to teach, because you can be a good teacher still as long as you're passionate about teaching.
Well, it does help. I see what you're saying. It does help.
Yeah. So anyway, again, like you were just saying earlier, we have these things that we want to do more in eventually, and that's where I'm at. Like I'm learning this. I'm like, okay, what's the next thing? Sparring. Oh, okay, what's the next thing? Okay, going to that class that sparring against MMA fighters that are like fucking destroying people. You know what I mean? That's the next step. And now the next one after that is actually getting to a fight, an actual Muay Thai fight, risking getting knocked out or getting a victory, whether it's a decision or knocking that other person out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Before those, I have a long story with that shit that I always wanted to fight, and my mom never wanted me to because she didn't want my face, my pretty face.
That's so bad.
She didn't want my pretty face to get fucked up. So it's just funny that you were saying earlier that you were kind of a pretty boy. You go to your prom or whatever.
Yeah, my fucking coach was talking shit on me. Oh, you too pretty for this. You can't do this. Like, shut up, man. Like,
there's a bunch of dudes that look good or whatever that box. I forget his name. The guy from Philly, Garcia, I think it is.
Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia.
Danny Garcia.
He's a well-looking dude.
I used to train with him.
Oh, word. Yeah, that's cool.
Well, but not like super deep. Like, I feel like I'm coming off like, yeah, that was my buddy. No,
I
used to train at Harrogate.
Yeah.
And he would, obviously he would be around and stuff like that. He'd give us like little pointers and whatnot. I remember one time I pulled up to the gym. I was like, yo, like I fight over at Penn State, and I wanted to kind of like stay in shape for the summer. Like, do you mind if I just like crash, here with you guys? I know that y'all are doing really, really good work. They let me in. They were just like, fuck it, come through. Come hang out with us. That's and cool. They didn't really like even charge me anything. They were just like, yeah, come through. Fuck it.
Nice.
Like,
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So going back to the Maslow's hierarchy theory thing, I wanted to bring that up because it's interesting how what I'm doing now, self-actualization. I did that for the last year and a half, and now I'm at the point where I'm looking at everything, like this whole triangle. Whatever I'm trying to remind myself, I'm practicing mindfulness where I'm having gratitude for everything, food, water. I have stuff on my mirror. It's a thing called accountability mirror. I don't know if you heard of that.
I am familiar.
David Goggins. I don't know if you know David Goggins.
Yes.
Okay.
That guy's a fucking animal.
Yeah, he's an animal. But I've read his book or listened to his book anyway. And one of his challenges is to, I don't really like the self-help stuff, but I just take what I can from people. I just look at it as philosophy and I take it.
Yeah.
But he has this one challenge, and it's called the accountability mirror. So what you do is you write on a the sticky notes, and you put it on your bathroom mirror or whatever mirror you have that you wake up and you can see it. So last year I put all the things, meditate, all the basic stuff, so I can practice mindfulness, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going back to the bottle to make sure that I'm mindful with everything that I have. Like, yeah, we know we have things that we need, like food and water, but are we mindful of it? You know what I mean? Are we reminded to have gratitude for that shit? You know what I mean? So this is not the kumbaya, fucking peace beyond
it helps,
flowers.
Man. It's no joke. That shit helps. Like,
yeah,
really
getting
does.
down to the cut of it, like legit, it helps to remind yourself of the things you have because people forget.
Absolutely.
Especially,
you can lose yourself in a lot of really stupid, mundane shit, and then you sit down and you ground yourself. You're just like, wait the fuck, wait a second. I have all this amazing shit, and I'm bitching about this person that just crossed the street without, like, I don't know, like, we're so weird about that kind of stuff. But continue what you're saying.
No, yes, and that's what I'm saying. It's the reason why we do that is because we don't practice mindfulness. I'm not trying to push meditation on people, but meditation, and I was doing this with jiu-jitsu when I first started jiu-jitsu. I was like, yo, jiu-jitsu is everything, and Muay Thai is everything. You have to do it. And all I'm saying, for real, you don't have to do jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai in particular. What I'm trying to say is, actually, we should be active. That's the one thing that we should all be doing is being active, moving our body, working out, whether you're going to the damn gym or whether you're running running marathons, whatever the hell you want to do. You need to move your body because it prevents you from being depressed. It prevents you from feeling miserable like shit. It gets you to test your abilities and gets you to feel satisfied when you accomplish things, dude. So I was like, I thought it was just me being hype as shit because I thought it was just jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. That was it. But it's actually, it is jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, to be honest. But besides the fucking point, it's actually us being active. That's what's making us happy to go there, to burn the fuck out and feel satisfied. Like, wow, I put good work in. I'm exhausted. I got humbled today, or I tapped someone out today. You feel accomplished, or you got tapped out 10 times by, you know what I mean? So it's just, it gives you what we need as human beings, and that's a struggle, right? It's a simulated struggle instead of going out there and then our fucking car is not starting, and now now like, how are we gonna get to work? Fuck, I'm late. Fuck, you know, whatever. Or I've been late for the past month 10 times and I'm gonna get fired, whatever. You know what I mean? So instead of doing that, you're going to the gym to get tapped out, someone trying to kill you, you know, in a friendly manner, or in terms of
just
Muay Thai.
competitively.
Yeah, competitively. Or Muay Thai, someone's trying to kick your body out and destroying your body, and you're gonna feel it the next day. So it's interesting to think about what we need, and that's one thing that I came to understand, that we actually, all of us as human beings, we need to move and struggle with the shit that we do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Taking it back to that evolutionary mindset that I take on everything. That's a huge thing. Like, whenever we're feeling anxiety and we're feeling like this weird stress on our body that we can't explain, and we can't sit still, like, and all we're just at an office trying to get something done, and you're feeling like anxiety ridden and stuff like that. That's all absolutely, it's an evolutionary thing, because just because we no longer have to deal with having to protect ourselves at our moment, or being hunted by a wild animal, stuff like that. That shit is still in our DNA. That shit is still very much part of us, and we still feel that. Right. So if we don't have an outlet, if you don't know that whenever you're feeling anxiety, that you can walk for 10 minutes and you'll absolutely feel better, it's because your body thinks, okay, I'm running away from this thing, but you're really not, right? It's just like that one thing. So you have to be physically active. You have to do a whole bunch of shit, because otherwise, your instincts, your weird ass, evolutionary, traces that were left in your being,
genetics,
that'll come and haunt you again. It's very weird. Very, very strange.
That's the shit that I've been learning a lot for the past 3 years, man. It's just listening to podcasts and gaining perspective off of this shit, because I had no idea any of this shit before. I used to be like, why am I so depressed, dog? I don't understand. There was so many things I was dealing with when I was younger. I never understood. Why do I have suicidal thoughts? Okay. My ex broke up with me. My ex fiance that I was with for 7 years, we split up. Okay, but why do I want to kill myself? What the fuck is wrong with me? It's over a female. Really? I don't. Why? I legit had.
Doesn't add up.
Yeah. So and it's because I was in the basement. I was in my room, my mom's house. There was no sun coming in, so it was just dark. It was miserable. I'm drinking every night almost. And I wanted attention, and I used to do comedy stuff in the base, blah blah. Long story short, I had no idea what was going on until I started to run into meditation, and then I understood. I was getting a taste of what is this? I meditate for an hour, but I don't know what I'm doing, but this feels good. I'm not thinking my suicide thoughts was still lingering, but it wasn't as bad. So I thought this is something. And then I started to do yoga because I had really severe back problems that I thought I was going to need surgery in, because I pulled my back a bunch of times with one of my jobs. But when I did yoga, I realized, oh, yoga is amazing, blah, blah. This is, and then, you know what I mean? You basically running down today. That's why I came to the conclusion that, we need to be physically active, and we need to make sure that we take care of our mental health. So physical health and mental health is what we need to do. It's essential, right? And I wanted to do shit like this podcast, because a lot of people are not aware of it. A lot of people are not aware of their physical. You're aware of it. Okay, I'm fat, whatever. I need to run. I need to lose weight. But are they aware of their mental health? Are they aware of why they're fat, or why it's hard
Why
to
they're
lose
feeling
weight.
some type of way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
why are they feeling some type of way? Why do you care that you're fat? Is it because of people judging you, or is it because of you just feel like shit?
Right.
You're fucking obese, whatever. You got all this nasty shit because you're eating McDonald's and
Disgusting.
just
Yeah.
disgusting food that's fucking you up. I still eat disgusting food here and there, but I learned to cut that shit down a lot.
Mhm.
Because I learned about nutrition, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's what jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai is helping me understand. When I go to train and spar, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai, and I'm fucking tired in the first round, something's wrong. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because I had pizza. Oh, because I was drinking the night before. I need to stop
Right.
drinking if I want to do better, right?
Yeah.
so, so it
True.
trains your mind. Like, it's crazy that jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai tricks you into, you want to do better because you like it, you love the shit. It's not for everybody, but like you love Muay Thai, right? So you're gonna, if you're tired, you're gonna be like, no, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I don't want to be tired. What do I gotta
Mhm.
do? Oh, you gotta build your
Yeah, man.
cardio up.
Like when I was training boxing, I always thought to myself, like, losing weight, or like, even for me and myself, like, if I needed to lose weight, or if somebody that was actually overweight in my team, they needed to lose weight to fight, they get it done like this.
Yeah,
You know, when it comes to fighting, people, it's a different mindset. It's not like, oh shit, I wanna look better so that I'm healthier. No, it's like, yo, if I don't lose this weight, I don't get to fight. So all this shit that I've been doing, I don't get, like, that shit goes out the window,
right.
right? So it's I always thought to myself, like, fighting, like boxing, Muay Thai, whatever it may be, I feel like those things like, if you really wanted to lose weight, I think that's the best way to go about it, is to fight. Because if anybody really wants to lose weight and they get into fighting, what they're doing is that they're changing their motivation. Their motivation is no longer, I want to look good for X, Y, and Z, or I want to be just a little bit healthier. The motivation changes to something more primal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it changes to, like, if I don't lose weight, I'm gonna lose all this progress. I won't be able to fight. Or if I don't lose weight, I'm gonna be sluggish fighting. So, like, I can't be sluggish because then I'm gonna get beat up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
your motivation absolutely changes. It becomes way more primal.
yeah, that makes sense, man. Because you said the motivation, and it's the same thing, but I call it you find your purpose for it. So if you have your
Yeah.
purpose to, like this, I have this. I work out at home, because I can't train at the gym or whatever during the weekday because I have my daughter. So I have enough motivation to work out at home because I have a purpose for it. Um, so if I'm like, all right, I have this jiu-jitsu competition coming up. All right, if I want to be ready for it, I got to start working out. Right.
Yeah.
I need to hit those kettlebells. I need to run more so I can get my cardio up at least so I can get ready for so I can simulate those rounds that I'm going to be getting in. So I don't want to be tired. Blah blah blah. So it gives me that purpose to drive through it. Like, this is the reason why I'm here. This is the reason why I'm doing it. I got to do it instead of I want to do kettlebell so I can get stronger and look good for Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I want to look good
Right.
on Facebook or for my
Not the
wife.
same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Even for my wife, it's not the same. Even for my wife, honestly, like I lost a lot of weight, a lot of muscle, because I was just getting into nutrition. I was just trying to understand fasting, and I lost. I used to weigh 170 when I first started at Balance, and now I weigh 145, because I accidentally lost my muscle weight as well. I didn't know I was fasting. I was trying to, like, not eat for 12 hours
Hmm.
every on the weekdays, and this girl, I didn't understand the balance of, like, making sure that I keep a certain level of protein so I'm not losing muscle. I'm still trying to figure the shit out, but ultimately now I'm not fasting, not as much, and it's like you learn from it. Basically, you either hire nutrition to save all your time, or you figure the shit out yourself.
You learn it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
That's funny. I watched like the Joe Rogan podcast, and
Yeah.
I saw that one of his, like, the people that he brought in, he was doing like the carnivore diet, and it was like, it was helping him with his, like, mood. He had like severe depression that went away. Like, he had like issues with I think his joints and stuff like that. He had just a bunch of issues, and he went like carnivore, straight up beef. And I was like, yo, how can somebody fucking do that? I actually tried it. I actually tried it for like, I told myself I would do it for 6 weeks. I I went through maybe like 2 weeks before I got like sick. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like I was actually sick of eating the thing. Like it wasn't like the keto flu. You know how you get the keto flu if you don't eat like any carbs or anything like that?
Yeah.
But it wasn't that was like affecting me. It's like I literally could not stand eating meat anymore. Like I can't. This is not it.
Yeah. You try it. I mean, if it works for you, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. There's no studies for it, but there's a bunch of people that say that it supposedly it works. But that was Jordan Peterson, I think.
Jordan Peterson. That's a cool dude, man.
He's a cool dude.
He's very smart guy.
Yeah, I like him and Sam Harris. I listen to their podcasts often. Not Jordan Peterson, but Sam Harris. Jordan Peterson has a YouTube that I watch, but I try not to. I really try my best not to lock myself into these guys, because you will just take everything and just follow everything they're doing. Like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, I'm a huge fan of him. So if I keep watching him, I'm gonna end up being like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you won't have your own opinions.
Yeah, I won't have my own opinions. I won't do my own things that I'm interested in. He got me interested in archery, though. I was always interested in archery, but he made me like actually want to pick up a bow. I still haven't done it yet, but he actually got me into jiu-jitsu because he mentioned it a bunch of times. Kettlebells, all the shit. Everything he talks about, I was like, I want to try that. I should try it. Hunting, yeah. I never thought to want to be a hunter. Now I'm like curious about hunting, not with a bow, but I am curious about hunting because I'm scared. Not scared, but just, the skinning process. I'm going to bitch out on that. I know like, if I see that, I'm going to be like, oh God, I can't fucking deal with it. But I like want to force myself to like, just try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And one thing he talks about a lot is like DMT, like mushrooms and shit like that.
Yeah.
Now, the only drugs that I use is like alcohol and marijuana. Yeah. Like I've never thought to myself
allegedly
that I would like I would want to like do anything else other than that. But I'm just like, yo, I need to get me somebody to sell me some shrooms so that I can know what the hell he's talking about. Because he's always talking about how it's almost like a spiritual journey, and like DMT even more so. And I'm just like, damn, like, am I even ready for that? But like, that's something I'm super interested in now because of Joe Rogan, because of him. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do more drugs now.
Yeah, I heard it from him, but what really got me interested in what do you call it, magic mushrooms or whatever, is or DMT is Sam Harris, because Sam Harris actually tried it again. He tried psychedelics. I forget when he said he's 20, he's 40 something now, I think, and he tried it to experiment now so that he's keenly aware of his senses, blah blah blah. And the way I can recommend the podcast so you can listen to it. So I don't want to fuck up his explanation of what he experienced with magic mushrooms, but it's fucking something that had me fucking fascinated. I was like, I want to try it, and I was like, I want to do it when it's safe though. I want to make sure that, because it comes with its repercussions or whatever the word is. It comes with its bad things if you're not careful. So if you have issues, psychological issues. Yeah. If you have issues, basically, you got to be careful, because then you could fucking lose your fucking mind off of this shit. And you get bad trips and you get good trips. There's no, you're only going to get good trips. You're going to get bad trips or good trips. It's like you're fucking playing Russian roulette with yourself, basically, to try this thing so you can get that experience that you want. So yeah, I'm curious about trying it. I told my wife, she said no.
Nah, she's not with it.
Yeah. I want to make sure that in the future, maybe 10 years from now, we'll have, because they're working on this shit now. They're doing studies on magic mushrooms. They're trying to do what do you call it? Tim Ferriss. He's working with other scientists so they can come up with a place so that people can experience magic mushrooms. Not, I mean, for the actual benefits of it. Like, there are people that are dealing with depression and suicide and shit like that, and supposedly it helps them. But that's what he's doing. It's interesting shit. But I'm waiting for that. When that comes 5 years from now, a recreational center that you can go ahead and try it.
That's actually happening. That's actually happening in Colorado.
Oh, is it? Okay. See, I need to go to Colorado.
Yeah, that's the spot.
Yeah. I could tell you though. Yeah, I don't know if you meditate. I don't know if I asked you that. Did you meditate?
I do. I'm not very consistent with it,
Yeah.
but when I'm really like feeling like I'm at the bottom of like who I can be, I definitely like I'll snap back into it. Like I'll start reading and I'll start like meditating and praying every night and stuff like that. So
Are you interested in following guided meditation? Because I could recommend this app for you, and I can give you a month for free. This is no commercial. This is I don't give nobody gives me money, but it's this waking up app from Sam Harris that he made, and I just been listening to all his teachings because I'm just like fascinated by his work, so I'm just like curious. But it's this app. You can, if you want, I can give you the code. It gives you a month for free. And just make sure you cancel the trial so that you don't get the year subscription or whatever. But yeah, you can learn about meditation, dude. Because I'm telling you, from my experience, doing a little, smoking while you're sitting there, you don't have to smoke to get this. How can I explain this? So
it probably does help. I have meditated like while high, obviously, but it's weird. It's different because you focus on your chakra points, and you like when you're sober, you focus on your chakra points and you try like to get as deep as you can with it. But when you're high, like you feel that shit. Like you actually feel like vibrations in your body. And it's crazy.
I only did it once because I only try to do it when I can. As far as that, because I don't do that in front of my kids. I don't do it in front of my wife. I try to respect, you know what I mean? But I had the opportunity to try it. My wife let me do it, whatever. And dude, I started doing Tai Chi. You know Tai Chi, right? So I started doing Tai Chi, and they have this thing where it's called pushing the water, picking up the water, and then pouring it over you. And then you do this motion where you're doing this. This sounds trippy as shit. It looks trippy, whatever. But I legit felt like I was like, just imagine myself in water. You know when you push water inside the pool, you feel that whatever, the water pressure, whatever, on your hands. That's what I felt like doing this. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was like tripping in the zone, like just this is crazy. And then the other thing I did was this is another technique that every time you inhale and you're expanding that energy, whatever, right? And then you press it down, right? The ball of energy, you press it down, you breathe out. I legit felt like I was holding a ball of energy, dog. I was just like, yo, this is crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah. I'm just sharing that. This is your third person I shared that with my wife.
Like, trust me, I'm keen on this. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Actually, like in a lot of the podcasts that I have like listened to, which I don't think I'm as advanced with meditation. I don't think I'm as advanced with experimenting with like drugs or anything like this. But when I do hear people talking about it, people that like know what the fuck they're talking about, they talk about it as in like they're like entering this new plane of being. So like if you experimented that, like if you experienced that, I 100% would believe you, because that's like that sounds familiar to me. You know what I mean? It sounds like what people talk about.
The only way you can believe it, like I appreciate that. The only way you can actually believe it is actually when you try it yourself. When you actually, all right, first of all, I'm kind of mad that I told you that, but at the same time, it's like, all right, it gives you when you meditate when you meditate often and you get used to it, it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. You have to master it. It's a skill. I'm not a master. I'm like a purple belt in meditating. I'm still learning. That's why I downloaded this app so I can get Sam Harris has a different way of meditating. I forget what it's called. It's a different type of meditation. It's based on the Buddhist mythology, whatever the word is, the Buddhist techniques. But I downloaded this app called Headspace, and it was a different way. They were talking about this. They gave me the different techniques. The one technique is looking at your thoughts as clouds. So letting your thoughts flow like clouds. Because when you meditate, what happens? You start thinking. And then you get distracted by your thoughts. And what happens when you're trying to meditate? I'm trying to meditate. Stop thinking. You're fucking up your meditation experience. This is legit shit. You have to fucking get comfortable with your thoughts and let them pass by like clouds. So that's one technique. Once you think of something, let's say you're thinking of, man, what I gotta do today? Oh man, I gotta do this. And you're like, instead of saying shut the fuck up, I'm trying to meditate, you look at it like, yeah, that's right. You gotta do something today. Okay. Okay, back to focus on your breathing. Then you go, there's the other technique that you're doing, is focusing on your breathing. I breathe out loud the way you breathe when you punch, you know. I make sure I exaggerate my breaths so that when when you breathe, if you did that right now, if you and then breathe out, you can feel goosebumps. When you feel that, you're allowing, for me, in my experience, I'm not a teacher or anything, but I'm just going by my experience from meditating. When I get to that point and I get goosebumps, I'm entering that state of mind that I want, so that I'm relaxed and I'm able to focus on my breathing. Once I'm able to focus on my breathing, any thought that comes by is just a thought, like, okay, cool. And then another one may distract me for a minute and I catch myself like, okay, that's cool. All right. And I'm not trying to push it. I'm just letting it go. I'm just back to my breathing. And then it comes back. Dude, without smoking weed or anything like that, doing anything, I tried doing it drunk too. Without doing anything sober, I meditate for 20 minutes. I do it for 10 to 15 minutes in. That's when I start to get into my meditative state of mind. My meditative state, for me personally, everyone has a different opinion. You have these teachers that say other things, like Sam Harris. He says meditation is not feeling good, feeling peaceful, or getting rid of your thoughts. It's none of that. It's letting things be. Just you get into a point where you see with your eyes. You get into a point where you're not in your eyes anymore. You're like away from your head. It sounds stupid as shit, but that's what
he's like an outer body.
Yeah, it's like almost like an out of body experience, but you know what I mean, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I'm like listening to him and trying to practice the way they're doing it, but the way I do it is I do my techniques. I just follow the headspace technique of let my thoughts go, focus on my breathing, and and I also do the body scan technique. There's another technique that you do body scan. So you start from the head, the top of your head, and scan. You visually scan down. So when I do that, I imagine, the X-ray thing, like that green line that goes down your body. I'm imagining that, and I'm checking every part of my body to see what hurts, or what feels good. So then, what that to me tells me is it just reminds me of how good I feel in my body, or how bad my shoulders feel. So it reminds me, oh, okay. Remember yesterday or 2 days ago, your shoulder wasn't hurt. Now it hurts. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that. Okay, don't fucking do this. Don't you know what I mean? So, sorry, I don't want to bore, I don't want to bore the situation. But basically, I got to a point that I started seeing visuals in my face, like because I had my eyes closed, and I start seeing patterns. I got to a color. I could start seeing colors or whatever. I had this vortex. I started to feel like I was in space, and I was going through this vortex, whatever. It's crazy. This is sober. When I talked about this in another podcast. When I smoked, I got to a point when I felt like, yo, what the fuck? I started to trip because I felt like it was just my imagination, whatever it is. I felt like I was wearing a headset, like a fucking VR headset, and I felt like I saw, okay, so your eyes are closed and you turn off the light and you can tell the light was off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can still see through your eyelids and all that shit, whatever, but you can't see what the fuck's going on. I saw people fucking moving and shit, and I was just like, yo, I'm fucking tripping. I was like, I am tripping. So I felt like what was going on there, my perspective, my imagination, whatever it is that I went into a state of being, of either being around other people who are meditating. This sounds so fucking woo, but being around other people who are meditating, or being somewhere else, like not here. Like I felt like I was out of my body. Like, 'cause when I say out of your body, my body is numb. I don't feel my body at all. Because you're at this point, I'm so relaxed that I don't feel my hand on my legs. I don't feel my anything. I'm so focused on my consciousness. I'm just saying that's how trippy it gets. But I really, this is the point of meditation, is just to raise awareness about yourself. And there's a deeper part of meditation that I'm understanding for myself, that it's about you. And that's why I told you my meaning of life is going deep inside you. You have to like really figure this shit out. But it's if you want to do that. Nobody has to do that. It's up to you, right? But I don't know. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm just happy as shit because it gives me everything I want. I'm not. I brought this up with my wife. People look for peace. People are traveling the world. People are doing this and doing that, and saying, "Oh, I want to be happy." People are trying to make the most money to be happy. What the fuck am I doing? I'm happy as fuck. I'm living my life. I could stay
Yeah.
here. I have goals to move out of the hood and everything because can't. It's like it's dangerous around here. But my peace and my happiness, where I find is I'm already here. I already have it inside of me. But when I meditate on these mats, that's my zone. That's me going. That's like this. It's equivalent to me traveling to Peru or somewhere extravagant to Hawaii or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how much it means to me, that this meditation shit. And I just like, fuck, man, I feel this empathy, this love that I have for everybody, that I'm like, yo, I want you to know this. You know what I mean? I want whoever
Yeah.
is listening to this podcast to know this. You can experience this shit too. You just have to, you may have a different kind of experience because we're all different. But the whole point is that looking for just experimenting with it and finding what's in there. You know what I mean? And just, I don't know. I feel like I've ranted enough, but you get my point.
No, absolutely. I think that that's one of the things. I mean, why do you think religion and all that stuff, like prayer is in itself a form of meditation? Like this has been going on with like almost any society you can think of. You know what I mean? Like this is not new. So like
Oh no. Yeah.
when you talk about this stuff, it's just like this is real, and I feel like people should pay attention to it. People should be mindful of their bodies. And I feel like people need to understand that that's a thing that you can do. Like you can learn and get good at it. Like it's not
Yeah.
just you sit down, you pray, and then like you feel at peace or what. No, you have to get good at it. You have to put effort into like you put effort into anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you gotta, and the greater thing, the like you talked about before, you gotta have a motivation for it, a purpose. You gotta, okay, why do you want to meditate? Mental health. You know, your mental health is important, man. A lot of people ignore it, and all this shit that
I've had pretty wild experiences like you have, like with like meditation.
Oh, word.
Yeah, I remember when I told you like whenever I get into like really lows in my life, I'll like get really into prayer. I'll get into like meditation and reading and like self growth and so all that stuff. Um, there was a time when I had like an outer body experience, and I would like meditate every night. Like I did it for like a couple of years. And there was one moment where I visited my brother, and I just like sat down on the couch and I was like kind of meditating, like drifting in and out of sleep. And while my eyes were closed, like I knew I wasn't sleeping yet. While my eyes were closed, like I decided that I was going to like to move, but without moving my body. It was very strange. I wanted to move without moving my body, and so I willed it, and I made it happen. And I saw the things that were around me. TV was playing. My niece was hanging out. My nephew was just like chilling on the floor. And I walk up and down the stairs. I'm just like, this is insane. Like this is wow. And I could see myself like sitting on the couch. It's not something that I experienced a whole lot after that, but it was one of the craziest things I've ever like at least thought to myself that I experienced. I mean, I could just be insane probably, but it is a thing. It is a thing that has happened in my life. So
Yeah, I never had that experience. I think I don't know if you're referring to astral projection.
I don't know if that's what it is.
Yeah, a friend of mine, ex of mine, whatever, she told me about that. Is a way that you can get out, you can not fall asleep, but you can get to a certain point where it's like almost like you're lucid dreaming or whatever, but you're aware of it.
It felt that way, yeah.
You're able to get out of your body. I heard it before and I tried it a bunch of times and I couldn't fucking do it. So I don't know. That's cool, man. I mean, if you were able to get to that point, that's awesome. I can never get that.
I agree with you that it might be lucid dreaming though, because I mean, there's no other explanation for it. You know what I mean? Like I can't really like sit here and say like, oh yeah, like I have power. Like no, like I know that's not it. But like I understand that. I understand that when people have like sleep paralysis, like they freak out.
Oh, dude.
And so when I have sleep paralysis, like very, very seldom has it ever happened to me. I don't actually freak out. I take it as an opportunity to like, I don't see what's around me. Like, what's this?
Yeah.
Like, what's this new thing? You know. So I
Right.
think that could be what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out now because I just learned from Sam Harris. He said if you get to a point of lucid dreaming and you're aware that you're having a lucid dream, you're able to go ahead and control like yourself inside that lucid dream. Try meditating in that dream. There's an actual
Ooh.
that's an actual practice from the Buddhists. And I'm like, what? Fuck.
Wow. I that sounds like way deep. Like that
So
sounds like
yeah, I
deep
was
as
like,
shit.
I have lucid dreams when I don't smoke, like when I stop smoking for a minute, and then I legit, oh shit, this is a realistic fucking, oh, this is a dream, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I usually just wake up. So I don't know. I gotta figure that out. It's interesting though. This all sounds like bullshit, but whatever. You don't have to believe me or David
Or
here.
what I'm saying. Yeah, facts. Yeah, for sure.
It's cool. It's fine.
Like I
I'm
said, I
not.
could just be insane. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm probably insane too. Yeah. Um. Yeah, man. This is all cool shit though. I wanted to talk like briefly about because we went deep into this. I didn't mean to get that far, but again, let me know if you're interested in this app. I'll send it to you, whatever.
Oh no,
But
for sure. Yeah. Oh no, I want to see it.
yeah, but as for your tattoo, I wanted to ask you a couple questions. With you being a tattoo artist, I was actually really curious about a couple things I never got a chance to ask tattoo artists that did my tattoo here. I think I did ask him actually, but I'm just curious. You see how I got the Joker, and I want all these cartoon characters, DC comics and video games. How come when I look at tattoo, I guess because I don't know, I'm answering my own question with it's copyright. Why is it that it isn't as popular? When I see everybody else out in the street, they don't have Joker or stuff like that. They have like a knight or something, or like
That's
just
not true. No, that's not true
maybe
at all.
that's my shitty perspective. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't really go out much either. So
No, like
so
my
it's
friends have Joker tattoos. I get people like wanting Joker tattoos. Um, I've my boss right now, like my mentor, he's doing like a full leg sleeve of like superheroes and stuff, like Dragon Balls. I mean, it's people get it all the time. Like it's pop culture stuff, and it's not really considered copyright if
okay.
you're tattooing it, you know.
Oh, gotcha. I was just curious because every time I looked at tattoo shops, I'm like, how come nobody has? I was looking at different Instagrams. I was trying to find something so I can
I
get more.
think I think what you're asking, or what the answer for your question would be more like the tattoo culture, right?
Yeah.
As of recent, tattoo shops have been quote unquote raising actual artists into the business, right? Because um, not even 20 years ago, there are just a bunch of people doing tattoos that didn't know how to draw,
Okay.
right? And then you'll have a whole bunch of people also like putting this myth out that like, oh yeah, just because you're an artist doesn't mean you can tattoo. That's not true at all. You just have to learn a medium. You know what I mean? It's just a different medium.
Right.
Um, so you'll have like all these old school folks which I mean, I give them all the respect and all the love that they deserve because they pioneered this shit. They made it what it is. But in reality, like when tattooing first came out and like in the United States and people were getting tattooed and stuff, it was by people that couldn't draw, like the Sailor Jerrys and all that stuff. Like they were drawing, but their drawings were very, very simple, bold outlines. That's what the classic style was. Bold outlines, bold colors, and just like very simple, almost like icon like tattoos. But now you look around and you start seeing these brand new artists that are doing like full illustrations on sleeves, or like doing like hyper realistic portraits. This is all like this is not even like 50 years old of people doing
Mhm.
doing that level of detail. Like it's very recent. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
when you say that you don't see a lot of people like doing this stuff, is because there's not a lot of artists out there doing it. Like if you look
Okay.
at my profile, you'll see a very um particular style of tattooing. It's because it's my artistry. It's like what I envision art to be. So
Right, that's cool.
That's the explanation I can give you.
No, that makes sense now. That makes better sense. 'Cause I was trying to understand, like, what? Because I see some people get tattoos of like basic stuff. I'm like, you really got a tattoo of that? I mean,
Yeah.
to each their own. But I want tattoos of everything that's meaningful to me. You know what I mean? I want stuff that represent me. I don't want to get things of like just a random flower and it's just whatever. It looks cool. Like I don't care what the flower. I want. Let me get Harley Quinn holding a flower and then stabbing someone with it or something. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Make sense of it to be creative and make it me.
To be art, you know.
Yeah.
To do art. I think that's what you're getting at. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. And it's coming. It's becoming more and more. You'll see it a lot more.
Yeah. I have to ask this question. This is I know tattoo artists. I don't know if this is for everybody, but I feel like one of my friends, she has one of the biggest gripes about people going to tattoo artists that suck. So, what's the question I have? Like, how can I ask this question? So basically, do you have any what is the word? You know when you don't like something, it's like your biggest gripe. Oh my god, I can't stand when people do this. You know what I'm talking about? What's that? It's a word I'm looking for.
I have like pet peeves.
Thank you.
Customers.
Do you have any pet peeves? Yeah, in your
with customers?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like stupid ass questions. Like I don't know, like if
like
you
that
see,
one.
If you,
I'm joking.
If you no, like I'll get people. Okay, so this really bothers me, right? If somebody's like complimenting my work and they're just like, oh my god, I really like your style, and I wanted to know if you had time to do this particular piece for me, and they'll say I want you to do this full color realism, like whatever, like anything color, because I don't do color at all. And if you go into my profile, there's not a single color piece. So like you went into my DMs and you told me like how much you love my work and how like happy you were that they found me as an artist, and then they have no idea what the fuck you do. And it's just like, why did you spend all that time doing that? Like,
yeah,
you could have just like started with this, like, hey, like, you know, I like your art. Do you do any color? Because in reality, like people, I don't know, people just want to gas you for no reason sometimes. I dislike that.
you said gas you, like
yeah, they kind of no gas you, like make you feel good, I guess, like gas you up, like pipe you up.
Yeah, okay. I'm not. My slang is not that good. I'm like old school. You say gas you up. I'm like, wait, is that gagging or like trying to fuck? You mean like pushing the pedal?
Nah.
Like
so that's one thing that happened to me, and I was like, this piece of shit. Like, what the fuck was the point of that? Like, hit me up about that. Like,
right.
It didn't make any sense. Like, you just lied through your teeth for no reason.
Yeah.
You don't even get anything out of it. Like, cause you're not even gonna. I don't know. I can't even work on that tattoo for you.
Right.
What else is like a no for me? Let's see. I've had, like, it didn't actually happen to me, but somebody in the shop. I had somebody come into the shop talking about like, oh yeah, I want to get this eagle on my chest, and the artist asked him like, hey, like, you know, how's your pain tolerance? Like, I want to make sure that we. Sorry.
No, go ahead. My daughter's calling me.
So cute. The artist was just like, hey, you know, I just want to make sure that you're able to handle this in sessions, or if we can like pull this off all in one session. But the artist was just saying like, hey, I just want to know if you have like good, like a decent pain tolerance, because I want to know if I should break this down into sessions or not. And the dude was just like super cocky, like, you know what, like I used to wrestle. I think he said I used to wrestle or something like that. And I'm just like, how the fuck does that add up to good pain tolerance? Like, it was a very strange thing. But he ended up getting the tattoo, and he tapped out. He could not even finish the tattoo. He was like almost crying, like holding his dad's hand. And I'm just like, man, like that was a strange thing to happen.
Oh man. So what the pet peeve is? People who think they can deal with the pain and they really can't. You try to warn them.
I think that was like, kind of like. I guess just being honest with the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I think that's all it is. Just be honest, dude. Like, shit,
Right.
I can't do more than like 3 or 4 hours myself. So I'm not gonna sit here and like talk all my shit, like, and
Yeah.
pretend like I'm that guy.
That's funny, man. I'm looking at some of your work, man, because I looked at it before, but I'm actually looking at the details of it. Because I kind of last time when you gave me your Instagram profile, I just like skimmed through it, but I'm like, yo, this is good, man. I like this like the wolf thing you did with the trees and shit in the background. I just like your work because the way you fade, it's almost like I can't explain it. You actually use it as a canvas, like the arm. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. This one.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see that. Is that yours? This is yours, right? Am I tripping? Yeah. Is the
Yeah, no,
wolf
that's
and the
mine.
moon?
That's mine.
Okay, I'm tripping. All right. Yeah, you remind me of this other guy, this other tattoo artist that I really, really like, because the way he does his is like he's sketching. So he kind of he throws like dashes into his work, and
very much so. That's my style. I like to have that. I just want it to feel like it's still art. You know what I mean? That wasn't just like pasted on there.
Yeah, this is good shit, man. You do good work on that. I actually might hit you up with a tattoo that I have in mind. I'll send you. It's I don't know how you know Metal Gear Solid.
What? Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best games of all time.
Would you be interested?
I was a younger when that came out too.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of ideas, but one of my main ones I wanted to do is get the twin snakes. I wanted to get Solid Snake and Liquid Snake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just I'm having a hard time because it's playing the sound, but it's not coming through the speaker. It's coming through Can you say something now?
Microphone check.
Perfect. It works now.
Oh, it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically it's just getting the twin snakes, and I don't want to say the whole thing because I kind of want this to be original, but I'll tell you when we're off air. But it's basically using Solid Snake and Liquid Snake, and I had this whole fucking crazy idea. I want on my back, them going face to face, and it's just
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can do it, but I'm looking at this, and it looks like you can. Like it's black and white too. It's not. I don't need color. It's really you got. I love your shadowing too. So that's awesome. Yeah. 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 Do you have to go, dude? Because I know you I know you scheduled it. I forgot to keep track of time.
Yeah, it's 6:30 now. I'm cool. Like I was supposed to be at the gym, but
I'm sorry.
I thought like I realized like pretty late after like I started the conversation, like there's no way I'm gonna like make it to the gym because it takes me like 40 minutes to get there and find parking. So like it's not the gym is like not happening. So
I'm sorry, man.
No, you're all good. It was my fault for scheduling it at 5.
Okay. So. Yeah, I didn't because I was trying to keep it within the hour, but I lost track because I was trying to. We got deep into our conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you a couple of things with that because I just wanted your perspective of like your life as a tattoo artist, and now that you started from you said you were 7, you were drawing since you were 7, 9.
Yeah.
And now you're able to fucking draw on people's skin as a canvas. That's awesome. Like, gave her a bottle and some apples, and now she's chilling.
Yeah.
All right.
I was really trying to like think of like pet peeves that I have, and I do not have like I don't really have like that many complaints about customers. Not that I can think of right now, at the very least.
Yeah, I have plenty for photography. That's why I stopped doing it. I try to pick up on doing that because it wasn't a passion of mine, photography. I like doing it artistically speaking, but not business. I can't do it. It's too many pet peeves of mine that I have with people, man. I can't deal with it. So it's like I'm now gonna do something else. It's just so that I'm not dealing with a business that just do you know what I mean? It's too many complaints or whatever that you're dealing with. Plus, not to mention photography, I feel like it's dying with people with their camera phones and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone. It was a couple times that I got hired to take pictures for people
Mhm.
at a wedding, at a
Wow, you got
Sweet
wedding
16.
photography. Wow.
Yeah, well, I was a part of a team, right?
Okay.
I never had my own wedding. I was trying to get that, which was going to be a nightmare. But I had my own wedding for in terms of videography, which was a nightmare in itself because it took me a year to fucking finish the damn project, dude.
Wow.
Because I was not passionate about the editing.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of work. I felt so bad. I gave that person free. I gave it to him for free because I was just like, it took me too long to finish the shit. Yeah, it's just too many complaints, man. Too many people, complain about a lot of different things with photography, and then on top of it, they got other people with their camera phones taking pictures in front of you, just not respecting you as a photographer. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that you deal with, and it's like, fuck this. The tattoo shops, it seems like it's more easier, or I don't know, the parlor in comparison to you being in your basement and doing it still professionally, but yeah. It's
Okay, that helped me think about one.
What?
When people try to tell you how to do your job.
Oh my God, that's everywhere.
That shit is mind-boggling.
That's everywhere.
It is the worst, especially I guess a tattoo artist. You have you're like doing something and you're about to start like on a section of the piece, and somebody's just like, yeah, like, do you mind doing this part first because I want to make sure that my chest pops out, and like I want to like, yo. Can we do it the way that it's intended to be done? Because like, do you want this to look good?
Yeah. Hey, everyone, to each their own, man. Everybody I don't know.
Jesus, man.
It's interesting, humans, the way they think. I'm so fascinated by people like that, because it's just, where are you in your life that you just, I want my chest to be like this, or like, can you do it that way? And I'll show you. Oh, you know what you're doing? Oh, yeah. It's like, okay. Fuck.
Oh man, this is the worst.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, like, this is the thing. Tattoos are not cheap, right? Tattoos are not cheap, and I don't undercharge for my tattoos. So the thing is this, right? You found the artist that you like, one, because the art style that you saw that I had was it matches your vision, right? It makes sense on how you want to get it done, right? That's why you chose the artist. Most people, that's how they operate, right? You go to the art because you really like their work, and that's who you decided to go with and spend your money in. Because if you're spending $800 on a sleeve or like the outside of your forearm, whatever, that's not cheap. You know what I mean? $800 to just throw out, or $1,000, $1,200 to just throw out. That's not very cheap. So I'm hoping, or I'm expecting, that you think that I'm a professional. I'm professional enough that you're willing to pay me whatever price that it is that I ask. So in that same like train of thought, I would also expect that you know what the fuck I was doing. Like, just let me do the work. It's gonna look like everything that you liked.
I mean,
so
you have your work. That's the thing about your work. You see it on your Instagram. That's your work, right? You're not like pretending it's someone else. Otherwise, you'll see it firsthand. Like, it's not your work if you were doing it right then and there. But
you'll have like I'll like record myself like tattooing and stuff like that, just to make sure that people know that it's my work. But it's an interesting thing, right? I get it if you were the type of person that money doesn't really matter to you, and you're just willing to throw it out, or just get whoever to do the job, even though you don't think that my style matches what you want. That sounds like a waste of money, because you're not going to get what you want. Right. But most people that are like that have a fucking brain in their head, they're not just throwing money out, right? They're about to spend money on a sleeve or a back piece or a chest piece, whatever it may be. Like, I hope that you're choosing the right person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that you did your research and that you decided that, hey, like, this is the artist that I want to work with me because I like how his art looks. And that's what I want on my body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is like with me. I'm really particular with what I want. It's my fucking body. I'm like, I'm gonna spend a couple $100, whatever, or $1,000 on a piece of work. I need to make sure that this artist is legit before I take the chance to let this person, put fucking permanent tattoo on my ass, ink. Like permanent ink. Yeah, I was trying to say ink. So it takes time. Like, I don't know how long. that idea I told you with the Metal Gear Solid, I've been wanting that since I was 18. I'm 31 now.
Wow,
I still
yeah.
haven't. I found artists, but I found this artist, but he moved to Florida. I was like, God damn it, because I wanted more from him. I wanted like, I feel like finally I found a tattoo artist that's legit. And he moved. I'm like, fuck. So now I got you. I'm like considering. Now that like now just it's all about me saving money, and so I can. And if you're, and then I'll show you what I'm trying to get and see if you can actually do it. If you can do it, then cool. Your work, I like your style. It matches the style of Metal Gear Solid. You know what I'm talking about? The artist.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
scribbling shit.
It's very sketchy. It's very like there's like almost brush strokes. I remember it very, very, very like
Yeah.
vividly.
And you obviously don't have to do exactly like him. I'm not looking for exact copy, but
No, that's in the same vein of style. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same ballpark. You know what I mean? Different player. That's what it is to me. That's how I look at it. So it's like
That'll work.
that's all I was looking for. Just someone that like your work. Cool. I like this. The Harley Quinn tattoo I want deals with color. So now I have to find someone else for that. It's a little Harley Quinn baby that I want to get for my daughter. It's dedicated to her.
Oh.
Right here. And it deals with color. And I saw that you had the stitch, but you don't do color. So it's like, all right, cool. I got to find somebody who does color because I don't, anyway, yeah. It's all about taking the time to find your fucking artist pretty much.
Yeah, and just like, and being okay with what they have to offer. Because if you're going to go up to them and like, you know, do business with that person, like you should, and they have to offer what you've seen already, then you should be okay with that being on your body. That's what you have, you know, that's what you came here for. I think that would be the biggest takeaway is just find the right artist. Like that's the best thing to do.
That's that leads me. That's cool that we went to this. So it segues into my next question I had for you was, how do you find the right artist? Like how do we find you? Like I found you by accident. I wasn't even looking for you. We were sparring, and then you just mentioned you do work, and I'm just curious to your work. And
I try to market myself as best as possible. Like for example, I go to a lot of conventions. I'm going to be at the convention this weekend in Philly, and like that's one way that I found myself, like that I found that I could market myself is through conventions. I also have I'm starting to build my social media presence as best as I can. For example, right now, I found that TikTok